Haven't watched parts 1 to 3 yet? Go back and watch them first so you don't miss a single twist in Sienna, Adrian, and Noah's story. Red Heart, once you're caught up, come back here and let's continue. I keep telling myself that choosing Noah was the right thing. Every morning when I wake up, I say it in my head like a little prayer. Noah's good. Noah's kind. Noah's safe. I say it while I brush my teeth, while I pack my bag for school, while I walk past the hallway where Adrian used to wait for me. I say it until the words feel almost true. Noah is sweet to me. When I talk, he really listens. His eyes stay on my face, and he nods at the right times. He laughs at my jokes, even when they are not funny. Being with him feels like sitting in a warm room on a cold day. There are no sharp edges, no sudden drops in my stomach, no late-night thoughts that keep me awake. With Noah, everything is soft and steady. So I decided to give our relationship a real chance. I stopped looking over my shoulder. I stopped checking my phone for messages that never came. I told myself this was it. For a while, things are beautiful. Noah takes me on our first proper date on a Friday evening. He shows up at my door wearing a clean blue shirt and a nervous smile. He holds out a small bunch of flowers he picked himself, nothing fancy, just white daisies with a few green leaves still attached. I remembered you said you like simple things, he says, and my chest feels warm. We walk to the little diner near the park. The air smells like rain that never fell. Noah opens the door for me and lets me choose the booth by the window. He orders the same burger I always get without me telling him again. While we eat, he asks about my day, about the book I was reading, about the way the light looked in the classroom that afternoon. He remembers the little things. When I mention how my younger brother spilled juice on my notes that morning, Noah laughs and says, "We should buy him a plastic cup next time." It is such a small comment, but it makes me feel seen. After dinner we walk through the park. The sky turns pink and purple. Noah takes my hand without asking. His fingers are warm and a little rough from working on his uncle's car. We sit on a bench under an old oak tree. He tells me about a funny story from hockey practice, how the goalie tripped over his own stick, and everyone laughed until the coach made them run laps. I lean my head on his shoulder. For a moment I feel like I am finally being loved the way I deserve. Soft, easy, safe. But there is one problem. Adrian. He has changed since Noah and I started dating. At school he walks past me in the hallway like I am a stranger. His eyes stay fixed on the floor or on the phone in his hand. When our group sits together at lunch, he talks to everyone except me. If I say something, he answers with one short word or just a nod. He never stays after class the way he used to. He never offers to walk me home. He avoids being alone with me the way people avoid a room that has a bad smell. And somehow, his silence hurts more than his coldness ever did. I notice it most in the small moments. The way he used to hold the door open for me without thinking. Now he lets it swing shut. The way he used to catch my eye across the room and give me that half smile. Now he looks away first. One afternoon I drop my notebook in the hallway. The pages scatter like white birds. Adrian is only a few steps away. He sees it. His body goes still for half a second. Then he turns and walks the other direction. I pick up the papers alone. My hands shake a little. I tell myself it does not matter. I tell myself I chose Noah. But the empty space where Adrian used to stand feels heavier than anything Noah's kindness can fill. One evening after school I stay late to finish a project. The sky is already turning dark when I walk past the hockey rink. Most of the lights are off, but the side door is open. I hear the sound of skates on ice, and then a sharp curse. I step inside without thinking. Adrian is sitting on the bench near the boards. His hockey jersey is half pulled off one shoulder. Blood runs down the side of his face from a cut above his left eyebrow. The cut is not deep, but it keeps bleeding. He presses a dirty towel against it with one hand. His other hand rests on his knee, fingers curled tight. He looks up when he hears my footsteps. For a second his eyes go wide. Then the walls come back up. "What are you doing here?" His voice is low and rough. "I heard something," I say. I walk closer. The air smells like ice and sweat and the sharp metal of skates. "You're hurt." "It's nothing." He tries to stand, but he sways a little. I put my hand on his shoulder and push him gently back down. "Sit still." I take the towel from his hand. It is already stained red. I find the first aid kit on the wall and pull out clean gauze and antiseptic. My hands move on their own. I have done this before, cleaned his cuts after practice, pressed ice to his bruises. It feels familiar and wrong at the same time. I tilt his face toward the light. The cut is right on the bone. A thin line of blood keeps swelling up. I clean it carefully. The antiseptic makes him flinch, but he does not pull away. His breath is warm against my wrist. I can smell the faint soap he uses and the cold air still clinging to his skin. For a moment we are close again. My knee touches his. My fingers rest against his temple while I press the gauze in place. His eyes are dark and tired. He looks into my eyes and quietly says, "You shouldn't be taking care of me anymore." The words land soft, but they cut deeper than the injury on his face. I freeze. My hand stays on the gauze. I do not understand what he means. The silence stretches between us like a held breath. "Adrian." He stands up before I can finish. The movement is sudden. The gauze slips. A fresh drop of blood runs down his cheek. He grabs his bag and the bloody towel. He does not look at me again. "Go home, Sienna." Then he walks away. His skates scrape against the concrete floor. The door closes behind him with a soft click. I am left standing in the empty rink with the first aid kit open and the smell of antiseptic on my fingers. My heart beats too fast. I press my own hand to my chest like that will slow it down. It does not. I walk home in the dark. The streets are quiet. Every step feels heavier than the last. When I reach my house, the lights are on. Noah's car is in the driveway. He is waiting on the porch steps, phone in his hand. "Hey," he says when he sees me. His smile is easy and warm. "I texted you. Thought maybe we could watch that movie you mentioned." I sat down beside him. The wood of the step is cold through my jeans. Noah reaches over and tucks a strand of hair behind my ear. His fingers are gentle. "You okay?" he asks. "You look tired." I force a small smile. "I'm fine." The lie sits in my mouth like something I cannot swallow. Noah watches my face for a second longer. He does not push. He just takes my hand and holds it. His thumb moves slowly across my knuckles. It should feel comforting. Instead it feels like a weight. We go inside. We sit on the couch. The movie plays, but I do not hear the words. My mind keeps going back to the rink. To the way Adrian's eyes looked when he said those words. To the space he put between us when he walked away. Noah's arm rests around my shoulders. He laughs at something on the screen. I lean into him because that is what I am supposed to do. But deep down, I know I am not fine. The credits roll. Noah kisses the top of my head and says goodnight. I walk him to the door. He smiles at me one more time before he leaves. I close the door and lean against it. The house is quiet. My phone sits dark in my pocket. No messages. No explanations. I go upstairs and sit on the edge of my bed. The cut on Adrian's eyebrow keeps flashing in my mind. The blood, the way he looked at me, the soft way he told me to stop taking care of him. I press my hands to my eyes. I chose Noah. I keep choosing Noah. He is sweet. He listens. He makes me feel safe. But the truth sits heavy in my chest and will not move. Because the man I'm dating isn't the one I can't stop thinking about. I have decided to stay away from Sienna. She's with Noah now. My best friend. The guy who has been on my side since we were kids throwing snowballs at each other in the backyard. Every time I see them together in the hallway or at lunch, something tight pulls in my chest. But I keep my face blank. I look the other way. I walk past without stopping. No matter how badly it hurts, I refuse to destroy their relationship. I will not be the reason Noah loses her. I will not put that kind of weight on any of us. So I stay quiet. I stay busy. I stay away. Then Vanessa starts appearing everywhere. It begins after practice one afternoon. I am sitting on the bench outside the rink, still in my jersey, sweat cooling on my neck. My bag is open at my feet. I am wrapping tape around a stick when a paper cup appears in front of my face. Steam rises from the top. Vanessa stands there holding it out, her smile soft and careful. "I thought you might need this," she says. "Black, no sugar. The way you always drink it." I take the cup. The cardboard is warm against my fingers. "Thanks." She sits on the bench a little farther down, not too close. She talks about nothing important, the weather, a test she has next week, how the ice looked during the last period. I answer with short words. When I finish the coffee, she takes the empty cup and throws it away from me. Then she leaves with a small wave. The next day, she is there again. And the day after that, she remembers my game schedules better than I do. On Thursday, she texts me the time of the away game, even though I already know it. On Saturday, she shows up at the rink with a small bag of ice packs and says, "Just in case." She finds excuses to sit beside me during family dinners. My parents have known her family for years, so no one questions it when she slides into the chair next to mine. She passes me the bread before I ask. She laughs at my father's old stories. She keeps her voice light and easy. At first, I barely noticed. She is just there, the way background noise is there. I am too busy trying not to think about Sienna to pay real attention. I answer when Vanessa speaks. I nod when she asks if practice went well. I let her sit close because it is easier than making a scene. But something starts to feel off the night she mentions my old treehouse. We are sitting on the porch steps after dinner. The sky is dark and the streetlights are on. Vanessa has her knees pulled up under her chin. She is talking about the woods behind my house. "I always wondered if that treehouse was still standing," she says. "The one with the blue rope ladder. You used to hide up there when you were little whenever your parents argued." I freeze with a glass of water halfway to my mouth. My stomach drops. I never told her about the treehouse. I never told her about the blue rope or the nights I climbed up there to get away from the raised voices downstairs. Those memories belong only to me and Noah. We built that ladder together when we were 10. I lower the glass slowly. "How do you know that?" Vanessa's smile does not change, but something flickers behind her eyes. She looks down at her hands and picks at a loose thread on her sleeve. "Oh, you know," she says lightly. "People talk. Small town." Then she stands up and stretches. "I should get home. Early practice tomorrow, right? Don't stay up too late." She walks down the steps before I can ask anything else. The screen door of her car closes with a soft click. I sit there in the dark with the glass still in my hand and the feeling that something is wrong crawling under my skin. I start paying attention after that. At family dinners, the air changes whenever my childhood comes up. My mother will be talking about old photo albums or the time I broke my arm falling out of that same tree, and my father's face will go tight. His fork will stop moving. My mother will glance at him and then look away fast, like she got caught doing something she should not. The conversation dies. Someone changes the subject to sports or the weather. The silence that follows feels heavy, full of things no one wants to say out loud. One night I cannot sleep. The house is quiet except for the low hum of the refrigerator downstairs. I go down for water and stop in the hallway when I hear voices in the kitchen. The door is cracked open. Light spills across the floor in a thin line. My father's voice is low and rough. She should have told me the truth years ago. I freeze with my hand on the wall. My mother's voice answers, thick with tears. I was trying to protect him. "You don't understand." "I understand enough." A chair scrapes. "All this time, and you kept it from me." "From him." My mother starts crying harder. Soft, broken sounds that make my chest ache. I take one step closer, but the floorboard creaks under my foot. The talking stops. I back away quickly and go upstairs without the water. I lie in bed staring at the ceiling until the sky turns gray outside my window. I do not sleep. The next morning the house feels different. The air is thick. My mother is at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee she is not drinking. Her eyes are red. My father has already left for work. The silence between us is loud. I stand in the doorway for a long moment. Then I walk in and sit across from her. "Mom!" She looks up. Her hands tighten around the mug. "I heard you last night," I say. My voice comes out quieter than I expect. "What was Dad talking about? What truth?" She sets the mug down carefully like it might break. "Adrian, please." "Not now." "Yes, now." I lean forward. "You were crying." He was angry. "And Vanessa knows things about me she shouldn't know." "What's going on?" My mother shakes her head. She stands up and turns toward the sink, her back to me. Water runs for a few seconds, then stops. She stays facing the window. "I can't explain it," she says. "Not like this." I stand too. My chair scrapes hard against the floor. "You have to. I'm not a kid anymore. Whatever it is, just tell me." She turns around. Tears are already sliding down her cheeks again. She wipes them with the back of her hand, but more keep coming. She walks over and puts both hands on my arms, holding on like she's afraid I will disappear. "Adrian," her voice breaks. She takes a shaky breath. "There are things about your birth you don't know." The words hit me like a body check I did not see coming. The kitchen tilts. My ears ring. I step back and her hands fall away. "What do you mean?" She only shakes her head. More tears. She will not look at me now. She turns and walks out of the kitchen, up the stairs and into her room. The door closes with a soft click that sounds final. I stand alone in the middle of the floor. The clock on the wall ticks too loud. The coffee in her mug has gone cold. My hands are shaking. Everything I thought I knew about my life, about this house, about my parents, about who I am, suddenly feels thin and ready to tear. My entire world suddenly feels unstable. For the first time in my life, I began wondering, who is my real father? Something is wrong with Adrian. Even Noah notices. At lunch, he keeps glancing across the cafeteria toward the empty seat where Adrian used to sit with us. He barely talks in the locker room anymore, Noah says one afternoon, pushing fries around on his tray. The coach asked if everything was okay at home. Adrian just shrugged and walked off. I nod and pretend to care about my own food. Inside, my stomach twists. I see Adrian in the hallways now, walking with his head down, shoulders tight, like the air around him is too heavy. He does not look at anyone for long. Not even Noah, especially not me. I try to convince myself that it is none of my business. I chose Noah. I am with Noah. Adrian's problems belong to him and his family. I repeat that in my head every time I catch myself watching him from across the room. I look away. I hold Noah's hand tighter. I smile when Noah talks about weekend plans. I tell myself I am doing the right thing. But late one night I cannot sleep. The house is quiet. The clock on my nightstand glows at 12:47. I get up for water and end up standing at the kitchen window instead. The street outside is dark except for the old street light near the corner. Under it, on the low brick wall by the park entrance, someone is sitting alone. The shape of the shoulders is familiar. The way the head hangs forward is familiar. My heart starts beating harder. I pull on a hoodie and slip out the back door. The night air is cool against my face. My shoes make soft sounds on the sidewalk. When I get closer, I see it as Adrian. He sits with his elbows on his knees and his hands locked together. His hockey jacket is unzipped. His hair falls over his forehead. He stares at the ground like it might answer something for him. I stop a few steps away. Adrian. He lifts his head slowly. His eyes are red and tired. For a second, he looks like he might stand up and leave. Then his shoulders drop and he stays where he is. You shouldn't be out here, he says. His voice is rough, like he has not used it much today. Neither should you. I sit down on the wall beside him, leaving a little space between us. The brick is cold through my jeans. You look broken. He lets out a short breath that is almost a laugh, but there is no humor in it. Yeah, that sounds about right. We sat in silence for a while. A car passes on the main road, and the headlights sweep over us and then disappear. Adrian rubs his hands together like they are cold, even though the night is not that bad. My mom has been hiding something, he says finally. The words come out quiet and heavy. About my childhood. About everything. I do not ask questions. I simply stay. I keep my eyes on the dark trees across the park and wait. He talks in short pieces at first, like he is testing whether the words will stay in the air or fall apart. He tells me about growing up believing Alexander was his father, about how much he admired him, the way Alexander coached the youth teams, the way he always showed up to games, even when work was busy, the way he taught Adrian to skate when he was 5 years old and falling every 3 seconds. Adrian's voice softens when he talks about those memories. Then it tightens again. I used to think I was lucky, he says. He stares at his hands. I had a dad who cared, who was proud of me. And now I'm terrified that none of it was real. That the whole family I've known might be built on a lie. I don't even know who I am supposed to be if the story changes. His shoulders shake once. He presses the heels of his hands against his eyes and holds them there. I can hear him breathing, uneven and careful, like he is trying not to make a sound. I reach for his hand. My fingers touch his first. They are cold. He does not pull away. After a second his hand turns and his fingers close loosely around mine. Neither of us speaks. The moment feels painfully familiar, like all the quiet times before everything got complicated when sitting next to him was enough. My chest aches with something I do not want to name. I keep my eyes on our hands and try to keep my breathing steady. We stay like that for a long time. The street light buzzes softly above us. Somewhere far away a dog barks once and then stops. Adrian's thumb moves, once across the back of my hand, almost like he does not realize he is doing it. I do not move. I just stay. Then I hear footsteps on the sidewalk. Noah stands a few feet away. He is wearing the gray hoodie I gave him last month. His hair is messy from sleep. His eyes move from my face to our joined hands and stay there. The expression on his face changes slowly. Surprise first, then something quieter and heavier. He does not look angry. He looks tired, hurt. He does not accuse me of anything. He simply turns and walks away, hands pushed into his pockets, head down. I pull my hand free and stand up fast. Noah, wait! I follow him down the sidewalk. My heart is racing now for a different reason. He does not stop until he reaches the corner near my house. When he turns around, his eyes are shiny in the streetlight. I start, then stop. The words feel weak. I found him sitting there alone. He looked. I couldn't just leave him. Nothing happened. I chose you, Noah. I still choose you. Noah looks at me for a long moment. His voice is quiet when he finally speaks. Then why does it always feel like your heart is somewhere else? I open my mouth. No sound comes out. The question sits between us like a stone I cannot move. I have no answer that does not feel like a lie. Noah waits another second, then gives a small nod like he expected the silence. He turns and walks toward his car parked farther down the street. I watch until the taillights disappear around the corner. My hands are cold. My chest feels hollow. I walk back to my house slowly. The front door clicks shut behind me. The living room is dark. I go upstairs without turning on any lights and sit on the edge of my bed. My phone stays dark on the nightstand. I do not text anyone. I just sit there with Noah's question repeating in my head and the feeling of Adrian's hand still ghosting against my skin. Hours pass, or maybe only minutes. I lose track. The house stays quiet until a soft knock sounds on my bedroom door. That night, my mother knocked on my bedroom door. Her eyes are red from crying. We need to talk about Adrian. My mother finally tells me there is a secret buried deep in Adrian's past. We sit on the edge of my bed in the soft yellow light from my nightstand lamp. The rest of the room stays dark. Her hands twist together in her lap, so tightly the knuckles turn white. She keeps her eyes on the floor for a long time before she speaks. When she does, her voice comes out thin and careful. Years ago, she says, before I married Alexander, I was involved with another man. I never told Adrian about him. I never told anyone the full story, not even your father. I stay quiet. My fingers dig into the edge of the mattress. I watch the way her shoulders curl forward like she is trying to make herself smaller. The truth was complicated, she continues. She wipes at her cheek, even though no new tears have fallen yet. When Alexander and I got married, he believed Adrian was his son. I let him believe it. There had always been a little uncertainty in the back of my mind, but I pushed it down. I told myself it would be better for everyone if we just moved forward as a family. I thought the past would stay quiet. I do not know what to believe. The words sit heavy in the room. I think about every family dinner, every birthday, every time Alexander ruffled Adrian's hair or cheered for him at a game. All of it suddenly feels like it is standing on thin ice. My mother's voice keeps going, soft and shaky, filling in pieces of a story I never asked for. I hear the names and the years, but the details blur. All I can see in my head is Adrian's face under the streetlight the other night, the way he looked when he said he was terrified that everything he knew might be a lie. We do not hear the footsteps in the hallway until the door opens. Alexander stands there. His face is pale under the hallway light. The calm I have always known on him is gone. His eyes move from my mother to me, and then back again. He has heard enough. Everyone. Living room. Now. His voice is low but sharp, like something has cracked open inside him. It is the first time I have ever heard him sound like that. My mother stands up so fast the bed shifts under me. Fresh tears start sliding down her face. I follow them downstairs on legs that feel unsteady. My hand trails along the banister because I need something solid to hold. The living room feels colder than usual. The lamp near the couch throws long shadows across the carpet. Alexander stands near the fireplace with his arms crossed tight over his chest. My mother sinks onto the couch and presses a tissue to her eyes. I sit on the edge of a chair by the window, hands locked together in my lap, so hard my fingers ache. Adrian arrives a few minutes later. He must have gotten a call or a text. He steps into the living room, still wearing the same gray hoodie from earlier, jeans, and messy hair like he just climbed out of bed. He looks around at the three of us, my mother crying quietly, Alexander standing rigid, me sitting stiff and silent. What's going on? Adrian asks. His voice is careful, confused. He stays near the doorway like he is not sure he should come all the way in. Alexander looks at him for a long moment. The silence stretches until it feels like the whole house is holding its breath. Then Alexander speaks. Adrian, I need you to know something. The room falls completely silent. Even my mother's soft crying stops for a second. The only sound is the soft tick of the clock on the mantel. Alexander's hands open and close at his sides. He stares at the floor for a beat before he lifts his eyes again. I recently found old documents, medical records, things that were never meant to surface. They confirm the truth. He swallows hard. His throat moves. Adrian, you are not my biological son. He stares at him. His face goes blank for a second, like the words have not fully landed yet. Then his brow pulls together. His mouth opens and closes once. What are you saying? Alexander's voice breaks on the next words. He takes one small step closer but stops himself, as if he is afraid to get too near. I raised you as my son. I loved you as my son. Every game I sat through, every scrape knee I cleaned, every late night talk we had, I meant all of it. You were my boy. But biologically, you're not mine. Adrian's shoulders drop. The color drains from his face so fast it looks like someone turned out a light inside him. He looks devastated. His eyes move from Alexander to my mother and then down to the floor. He takes a small step back like the ground under his feet has shifted. His hands hang loose at his sides. I can see them trembling. My mother stands up. Tears run freely down her cheeks now. She wraps her arms around herself and rocks slightly on her feet. There's more, she says. Her voice is barely above a whisper. She has to clear her throat before she can keep going. Your biological father is still alive, and I know exactly where he is. Adrian's head snaps up. He stares at her like he has never seen her before. No one speaks. The clock keeps ticking. The air in the room feels thick and hard to breathe. I look at Adrian. For the first time, I did not see my stepbrother. I see a young man whose entire identity has just been ripped apart. His chest rises and falls too fast. His eyes are wide and shining under the lamplight. The boy who used to laugh in the same living room, who used to steal cookies from the kitchen with me when we were kids, who used to sit on the porch steps and talk about nothing important, now looks like someone standing in the middle of a storm with nothing left to hold on to. His whole body seems smaller somehow, like the news has pulled something vital out of him. But there is something else I suddenly realize. If Adrian is not Alexander's biological son, then the relationship I have spent so desperately trying to bury may not be what I thought it was. All the guilt that kept me awake at night, all the times I told myself the feelings were wrong because we were family, all the moments I pushed the warmth in my chest down and chose the safer path with Noah, the rules that kept us apart, the ones that made me look away when he smiled, the ones that made me lie when Noah asked why my heart felt elsewhere, might never have been real. The line I thought was solid between us suddenly looks like it was drawn in pencil, ready to be erased. My heart beats hard against my ribs. My hands feel cold even though the room is warm. I cannot look away from him. The space between us feels charged, like the air before a summer storm. Adrian looks directly at me. His eyes are filled with confusion, pain, and something neither of us has dared to name. Sienna, what is this change between us? And just like that, everything Sienna thought she knew about Adrian has changed. Flushed face, broken heart. But what does this revelation mean for them? And will the truth about Adrian's real father change everything? Tell me what you think in the comments. Then like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications because part 5 is the finale, and trust me, you don't want to miss how this story ends. Red Heart.